Hi, I'm Robert Wolfe. I'll be presenting work with Alexis Hiniker on deceptive design patterns in user-facing GPT models on the OpenAI GPT store. So GPTs are customized versions of ChatGPT that can be equipped with developer-defined instructions to govern their behavior, as well as external sources of knowledge and programmatic actions. They can also be given capabilities like image generation, data analysis, and web browsing. This is what the page for a typical GPT looks like. We made this as an example. You have the image at the top, above a title for the GPT, followed by the author name and description of the GPT. We can also provide a few examples of questions that would be good conversation starters with the model. And the way we find GPTs that other people have made is through the GPT store, which is just one web page that contains links to the top GPTs in 7 categories, as well as a few featured GPTs selected by OpenAI. There's also a search bar that we can use to try to find GPTs for a specific purpose. So what are the norms that OpenAI sets in terms of how it presents its own customized GPTs? Well, they're presented as advice-giving experts with names like mentor, advisor, or coach. Their descriptions are in the first person, as though they've been written by the GPT itself rather than by a person. And the author is just ChatGPT, with no reference to where the GPT's knowledge or actions or capabilities come from. And we can see that these norms trickle into the GPTs created by the community as well, in more problematic ways. For example, the titles connote professional expertise, like that held by lawyers or doctors, and the GPTs sometimes promise to offer expert legal, medical, or financial advice rather than more pedestrian advice about creative writing or data analysis. These are the examples that come back when we search for legal, medical, and financial keywords. These are in the top 3 results. You can see that we get a bot claiming to be a personalized lawyer, another one claiming to be a virtual doctor, and a third bot claiming to be a financial expert. Really, the problem here is that there's no indication of why these models should or should not be trusted as experts. We're calling this expertise fog, building on the deceptive design literature on feature fog and time fog, because the user's attention is being manipulatively redirected to a source of information with no indication of why that source should be trusted. And a lay user is by definition unable to evaluate the truth of the GPT's claims, because if they could do that, they would be an expert themselves. So what are the underlying motivations that allow these expert presenting GPTs to exist? Well, first is subscription sales, because GPTs are only available to ChatGPT Plus subscribers, and it looks more valuable to have lots of GPTs rather than just one model that's being prompted in lots of different ways. Second is branding. If you have an untrustworthy GPT and it looks sufficiently distinct from the underlying GPT-4 model, well, maybe GPT-4 is less implicated in that model's problems. And finally, we notice some deceptive design patterns that allow OpenAI to harvest data from conversations with custom GPTs, such as a hidden option that's checked by default after you equip a GPT with knowledge. And for anybody wondering what that looks like, you can see the additional settings drop-down inserted in the middle pane, and the option to let OpenAI harvest data is checked by default only after GPT Builder has uploaded their data. So what do we do about these issues? We suggest more transparent presentation of GPT components, which are currently kept intentionally vague. We think models claiming to be experts need to be systematically evaluated or even certified by human experts to establish their capabilities. We think GPTs should be presented as tools rather than people, especially when it's human expertise that's being presented. And finally, we think GPTs need to foreground their shortcomings. If you went to a general practitioner and you asked for medical advice about the heart, they probably refer you to a cardiologist, and maybe something similar needs to exist in GPTs. Thanks everyone for the time, and please feel free to get in touch.